do.
Okay, the meeting is now being live streamed. Just give it a second. It should be. Okay, we are live.
Thank you, Mr. Depot. This is the City of Westminster Historic District Commission agenda and following business for Wednesday, June 1st at 7 o'clock. This is a virtual meeting. I'm going to start our meeting with a call to order. And we do that by reading the statement of authority. The Westminster Historic District Commission derives its authority from Chapter 164, Article 9A of the City Code, which is authorized by the Maryland Code Annotated Land Use Article Division 1, Single Jurisdiction Planning and Zoning. Title 8, Historic Preservation. The qualifications of the Westminster Historic District Commission are on file at the City Administration Building of 45 West Main Street, and the file is open to the public. We'll move on to approving the meeting summary. Have our commissioners had an opportunity to look at the meeting summary?
I make a motion we accept as written.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor by indicating by saying aye.
Aye.
Great. It sounds to me like it passed. Okay, we have no listed old business. Wait a minute.
We had no old business. That's correct.
But we do have new business, which is elections.
Yes.
Okay, I thought we did that last month.
No, we pushed it to this month. There was no vote or taken for the elections.
All right, so this is interesting. I haven't really thought about it. So do we have
I make a
yes.
motion we keep Chair McMasters as president.
Is there a second?
Happy to second.
I'm sorry. Yes, I second. I'm sorry. I was on mute.
Thank you. All right, so all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
And I think I hear 3, correct? There's no nays or abstentions. All right, so we also have a vice chair. Is there a, and that's Aaron. Is there any indication of a motion from our commissioners today?
I also motion that if Aaron wants to do it again as vice president, I didn't talk to him, but I make a motion he stays as vice chair.
Do we have a second so we can discuss this?
I second that. I second Kevin's motion.
Take a second. So Aaron's not with us today to accept or reject this. Do we have a specific thing we need to do, or?
I would just point out, I am a little uncomfortable without him being present for the discussion.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I feel like it.
I support Aaron in the position, for the record. I just don't know what he's thinking.
But he needs to
Right. That was the right way to say it, Josh.
So we can make it an agenda item for next month that talking to him on, I don't want to put him on the spot, but maybe he then has a month to think about it and we can go from there.
Mark, does that sound proper?
That's fine for me. As long as we have a chair voted in, that certainly helps. If you want to wait till next month for the vice chair election, that's fine with me as well.
Okay. How do our current commissioners online feel about it? that we should proceed that way.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. It's the best that we can do right now, so.
Yeah, until such time there's a change, he remains vice chair.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
That makes it neat too.
It
Okay.
would be nice to have an official, yes, I want to do it, and yes, he's going to be vice chair going forward.
All right, we'll work on that. We'll work on that. Is everybody else in basic agreement, Josh, Kevin? I see heads nodding. That's good enough for me. All right, we have a pre-construction application for historic rehabilitation property tax credit, TC 2203. Mark, would you like to give us the down low?
Yes, let me just, okay. It's always fun trying to do multiple things at once. Okay. Again, this is historic rehabilitation property tax credit, pre-construction application, TC 2203 for 72 West Green Street. Mary Eastwood, who's here tonight, the applicant and property owner, is requesting approval of a pre-construction application for 72 West Green Street, Westminster, Maryland, to complete interior and exterior improvements to the existing house and to add an approximate 14 feet by 20 feet addition to the rear of the house. Property information, the property is zoned R7500 residential. I'm sorry, also joining us is Dean Camlin. That's Mary's Eastwood's architect. He did provide the elevation drawings that were provided in the applicant's application. So property, the research that staff completed, the property is considered eligible under the zoning ordinance section 143-58. Eligible property as the property is located in the Westminster Historic District registered district. Excuse me. It is the Department of Community Planning Development's understanding that the applicant is proposing, one, to construct a new, as stated, 14 by 23 foot addition to the rear of the house. A portion of the existing exterior rear wall will be removed, allowing the existing kitchen to expand into the addition, and construct a powder room and coat room in the addition as well. Two, to construct a new 10 feet, 9-inch by 14 feet deck to the rear of the house adjacent to the new addition. Three, install new HVAC for the existing house and addition. Four, demo and replace the existing kitchen. And five, general interior improvements, again, tying to the addition. A more detailed description is provided in the applicant's application attachment 1. And again, Mr. Camlin can certainly expand on what's being requested. The applicant has provided 2 cost estimates for the project, one from J.E. Richards Construction Company and one for $165,000, and one for P.A. Martin and Sons for $254,000. The applicant prefers the P.A. Martin and Sons cost estimate of $254,000 as outlined in attachment 1. Staff recommends that the commission review the provided pre-construction application for historic rehabilitation property tax credit TC 2203 and determine whether 1, the property is an eligible property, and 2, the proposed work as outlined in attachment 1 qualifies as eligible work under section 143(5)(b). If the commission determines that the property is eligible and the proposed work as outlined in attachment 1 qualifies as eligible work, then planning department further recommends that the commission determine whether the estimated project cost of $165,000 by J.E. Richards or $254,000 by P.A. Martin or other amount as determined by the commission is accurate and acceptable, and to approve the grant and to approve and grant the certificate of eligibility for the historic tax credit in the amount of up to $8,250. That's under the J.E. Richard estimate, $12,700 under the P.A. Martin estimate, or other amount as determined by the commission consistent with section 143(5)(b), D, and E. So I kind of stumbled through that. I apologize. But That's all I have. I'll leave it up to Dean to further explain unless you have any questions for me.
No, Mark, I don't have any questions for you. I do have a couple of questions on the proposal, but if Dean or the homeowner wants to say anything, they're welcome to, or just welcome the questions and then say something. It's up to them.
I should say that I have not seen the application. Of course, I did the drawings for the addition, but I haven't seen the application, and I haven't seen the cost estimates that were prepared by either of the builders. I don't know how detailed they were, how whether there was a breakdown or if they were just lump sums. So I'll have to ask Mary to expound on that.
Okay, no problem. Mary, did you want to say anything? I just have a couple short questions and then we could go on.
No, other than, I don't know, last time I talked to Mark, he was able to pull up the estimates so everybody could see them. I don't know, can you do that again?
We do have them in our packages for each.
Oh, you
commissioner.
do? Okay,
We have them, and we
Okay.
have your photographs as well.
okay, all right, then no,
I'm just going to take a point of privilege and say a couple of questions. One, do you know if any appliances are included in your estimates?
they are not.
Good, because we can't do appliances.
Yeah, they're not included. I told them we would do our own separate for that. And then I guess
Right.
the only other thing to really note is that Jay Richards' estimate was a full year ago. So there's a whole year gap in between the two estimates because we couldn't find anybody to do the project. It was, no one had availability.
Yeah.
And there's slightly different things were covered in each estimate. So that probably helps to account for the difference in cost a little bit. And the fact that I think that Dan Martin just has a higher level of quality of goods that he uses versus Jim Richards. So I think that's where the major disconnect was in the two estimates.
And we also
won't talk
know,
about that.
we know how much prices in general
Have increased.
escalated over the last year.
Yeah, it's been awful. It's been awful.
Yeah.
Well, Dean, I have one question for you. In both the number 1 and number 2, Northview and Eastview, there is a weird cylinder at the corner of the deck, and it says a sump or a slump or a stump. What is that you're designing around?
That is an existing sycamore stump that's left from a tree that had to be cut down after it was hit by the tornado recently.
Oh, the tornado.
So,
Yeah, we were hit pretty hard by the tornado. Our
yeah,
whole,
so we were trying to incorporate that into the design of the deck with a little bit of a creative cantilevered spiral stair off of the trunk of the sycamore there.
Are you keeping that trunk? Just asking.
we're memorializing the trunk. We were
Okay.
heartbroken that the tree came down. I think we're going to carve it. We're going to do a carving there.
Okay.
Eventually it'll be a carving. So.
I just said that was like a water heater or something, and I'm
No.
thinking, holy heck, who would do that and why? Maybe there's something I don't know about, I don't know. I just thought I was definitely missing something when I saw that. All right.
I didn't take the time to try to accurately model that stump.
And 100% understand. I'm going to ask the other commissioners if they have any questions about this application.
I didn't see anything on the application
That looks pretty standard to you, Chris. Josh, do you have any questions?
No, I don't think so. I was a little surprised at the price tag, but
Yeah,
I
we all
understand. Yeah, I understand some of the nuance there.
I like
Helen.
it.
Oh, good. Kevin, do you have any questions for our homeowner?
No, but thank you.
Mhm.
So for the homeowner, I have two things I would like to share with you. And I think especially it's important during this time of such upheaval with materials, budgeting, and contracting. If you get into a position where something has to change, something has spiked way out of this budget, or within 2 years, this is just too much work for you to handle because of budget or availability or whatever. You do have some options under our tax credit. And I know you've been through this rodeo before. This is your second tax credit, and I will point out to our commissioners, they were very faithful with their first tax credit. But this is a different time now where prices are spiking, availability is spiking, and people are hard to find. So if you find yourself in a substantial position of change, and I would say anything over maybe 15%, please come back to the commission so we can understand what that change is. You don't want to spring that on us at the end and say, you know what, we decided to add another, $300,000 on and put in another addition because it was a bargain.
That isn't happening, but okay.
Yeah. But I really think another thing that might happen is, who knows, you might have some things that you cut back on and don't accomplish, and that's fine, but we really need to, if you're going to substantially change over 15%, it would be best if you come back to us for our blessing. And trust me, we'll probably be willing to work with you, but we can't have a huge big swing if possible. The other thing I want to make sure you really understand, this is a huge project. And if you remember last time, the 10% was applied to your paid taxes.
Right.
And it's
in
only
increments. Increments was over several years.
It can be up to 5 years.
Okay.
Up to 5 years only. So I don't know what your tax rate is over there on West Green Street, but I have a great fear that you'll never recover 10%. So be aware, we're not fibbing to you about a 10% tax credit. It's just a matter of, how much you spend and how much is available for your taxable liability. We can't give you more than what you pay in for your taxes.
Chair McMaskers, as I understand it, this addition will only generate a 5% tax credit because it's new construction.
Well, that's interesting, Dean. We haven't considered some of these things as new construction, unless it's I think I better take a step back. Yes, I understand this to be new construction. I was in the thought process of 10%, but I think you're right. I wasn't thinking that it was new construction and it was only a 5% tax credit. I appreciate you pointing that out to me. That changes my headspace even more about the tax credits, Mary.
Mm-hmm.
You'll want to run the math and make sure you understand that.
Right.
Thank you, Dean. I do think, however, you would be eligible for state tax credits as well if you consider applying to them.
I have no clue what that would involve. It's basically the same process.
It's basically the same process. They do have a different application than we do. So we have a 2-part application where you apply now and then you follow up with your receipts and your photographs and your proof. They have a 3-part application that can be collapsed. Their first part application asks if you're a certified historic structure. And because you're in our district, you are automatically. So you can submit part 1 and then part 2, what do you want to do?
Okay.
And part 2 divides it up differently than we do. They say, what's your problem? What's your solution? So your problem is a small kitchen, your solution is an addition. Your problem may be a rickety deck, your solution is a new deck. You know, they will ask you sort of what is it that you want to improve, what's your improvement, and what's the solution to that improvement. And they also will want a budget breakdown and photographs. And they're a little pickier than we are about how you submit that stuff, but if you step back, it really is all the same information, just slightly packaged differently.
Okay.
And they do ask for a percentage up front just to review your application.
Uh-huh.
It's a small percentage, it's like 1%. Last time I ran through that program. And they do take a little while, but you may not be able to get on Martin's schedule for a little while.
Oh, no, we're on. He's
We're on-
starting in June.
Ooh, all
Yeah.
right. Well,
Yeah.
you may
Yeah,
want
there,
to talk
there
to
may
them.
not be enough time, Mary.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
may want
For the
to
state to
talk to them
review
in Annapolis because I don't
I
know them.
think I accidentally wandered onto their website when I was trying to find your information. And I actually started filling it out. And then I was like, wait a minute, this wasn't like what it was. So I had to do my research all over again. But because they said it was Annapolis, and I'm like, wait, that wouldn't be for the Westminster. So yeah, I think I accidentally started filling all that out, but then I threw it away. So.
Oh, okay. Well, that's 20%. And they give
Is it?
you a lump sum at your tax time. They
Oh, wow.
stroke you a check for the whole 20%.
And wait, does it go towards credit towards the taxes again?
No, it's just on your
It's-
income tax.
It's
They
an
give you
income
that.
tax credit, not a
Oh,
property tax.
An income
Refund.
tax credit.
The year I
Ooh.
did my big project, I got $33,000 back on my taxes
Wow.
in total. I mean, I was going to get a little refund anyway, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's much more than the taxes paid in.
But
and
it
even
has
that-
to be done before pre-construction.
Yes.
Everybody
approved.
wants to have a say.
Okay. Yeah.
And Dean actually knows the rules very well. He's very familiar with the Maryland Historic Trust. Are you still on the advisory board, Dean?
I'm still on the Board of Trustees as an area representative. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know. It might be worth a beg and a fast track request. To me, I would hate to leave money on the table, but
Yeah.
you know, if you can beat the race, you don't want to hold up your contractor at all, I'm sure.
Well, we don't have our permits yet, but we're getting close, I think. So.
All right. Well, what's the worst that could happen? If you could get
Right.
that paperwork in quick as a bunny, and then start the begging.
Yeah. I'll look into it.
What's wrong with the permit process? Mark, are you guys holding that up?
That I don't know. Are we?
Oh my.
I
All
can,
right.
I can look into that.
We should stay in our lane on this meeting with the Historic District Commission. We'll stay in our lane on this. Yes, with this being new construction, do our other commissioners have any questions? Does that change things? I see no heads bobbing or hands up, so it's just changing my head a little, shifting gears. Okay.
I'll just
So
note, I appreciated in the proposal, just the acknowledgement of the different ways you're trying to keep the historic character of the house intact, both inside and outside. So, full kudos to you. And that's why, that's what we look to see. So
We're
great job.
trying. Yep. That's partly why I went with Paul Martin too, because he was way more focused on that than Jim. So I'm like, yeah, hands down, he is more aligned with it all like we are. So.
And Dean's done an excellent job of, in very little, 1 or 2 images, being able to show us what's happening. To me, that's a gift. So thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So do I have a motion to approve this tax credit application?
I make a motion to approve Mary Eastwood's tax credit application as is.
Is there a second? Kevin's hand went up, I think.
Yeah.
I see a second. Good. All right, so all in favor indicate by raising your hand. Oh, wow, we got consensus. Great. Well, Mary, you and your husband Gary, be sure and have a great adventure with this.
It's gonna be fun. He
Gonna be
sleeps
fun.
during the day. It's gonna be tricky.
Gonna be tricky.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit like having the band together. You had Dean help you. Pat Martin worked on my house, so
Did he?
yep, I'm really looking forward to all kinds of good things coming out of you. And I can't wait to hear your stories when you're done.
All right, thank you, and thanks for the tip about the state. I'll definitely look into it.
If there's any way we can help you with that paperwork, or if you have any questions they're not answering quickly enough, other
I
than
guess-
why isn't it approved, you can always get a hold of us. And, you know, I've had state tax credits through my home, so, but it hasn't been a decade, so.
Is there something you can send me that I can like attach to it that shows that I am part of the historic district?
All you have to do is click it off and put Westminster National Register District.
Okay,
And they have those maps.
okay,
I mean, Mark could send you, or I could send you, or Dean could send you a map of the historic district, and, you know, you can put a little star on it, but
okay.
your
Well,
address,
no, if I can just click it off, that'll be fine.
yeah,
I
that
can, I
is,
can help you with the application process, Mary.
Thank you, Dean.
yeah, that is page one. Just simply prove up your historic, and because you're in the district,
You are
that's taken care of. So
awesome.
for a lot of people, it's a fast track.
Okay,
And
all right, great.
I'm sorry, Chair, if I may, I'm sorry, just for the record.
Sure.
So the historic district found an eligible property and it's qualifies as eligible work by the vote of approval. The question I still have is what amount is the Historic District Commission accepting? And how much of the tax credit are they accepting? Is it the $254,000 cost estimate from Mr. Martin, which would be a $12,700 tax credit?
And that's calculated at 5%, right?
Yes, that's calculated at 5%.
Do I hear a motion from the commissioners?
I have a question.
Sure.
Is it all new construction, or is it new construction and renovation?
It's a combination. There's the new construction is 14 by 23 feet, but then everything beyond like the kitchen and there's a pantry, all of that is being reworked. So it's a combination of both new
So-
construction and remodeling.
So is there like splitting the difference because they're doing both somehow with the, no?
That's an interesting thought. I was just focusing on the inside of the historic footprint and wasn't really calculating on the addition. That's why I kind of got caught flat-footed thinking 10%.
You could do that, but then you would have to break down the cost of doing X for 10% and what would be then for 5% because of new construction. I don't know. I think it gets in a gray area. It goes back to having a detailed estimate on things. And I don't know if Martin's construction would do that, but I don't
Bless
know.
you.
Yeah, I personally would hate to have to go down that road of really, you know, what part of what brick is in and what part is what brick is out, you know? I would rather we would try and look at this just globally and kind of understand that even at 5%, it's going to be a great difficulty for them to recover all that money from this project for 5%. All right, well, with that question on the table, do we have someone who'd like to make a motion to resolve our thought process here? The idea is to put out a motion to second it and then discuss it further.
I think it might be helpful to hear from the homeowner on this, because from what I understand, if we are going to do that, wouldn't we need to see that breakdown of what is interior versus exterior and the different cost estimates for each? So she would have to come back next month with additional paperwork and estimates, as
Yeah,
I understand it. So I guess one of the questions I have is, Mary, do you want to consider doing that in hopes of getting additional tax credits?
Dean, you've worked with Dan Martin before. Do you think he'd be willing to break down the estimate more?
Well, I think it would be very difficult to do that.
Yeah.
Depending on how he's put his estimate together. My advice is stick with the 5% and hope
Make
for
it
the
easy.
best.
Yeah, that's fine. That's what I was expecting, so.
all right, team, do we have a motion on the floor we can start chewing on?
What are we motioning at this point, Chris? Are we motioning to put this conversation to bed, or?
I think what Mark needs is for us to tell him at what price point and at what percentage we're willing to approve.
Yeah, I thought we already voted on that, but
Well, there's two estimates in the tax credit application, so we approved the application. We do need to prove the top number that we'll recognize as work we would like to support, and then that it is 5 or 10%. It sounds to me like the homeowner is willing to go with 5%. It also sounds to me like the homeowner would prefer to go with the PA Martin proposal.
I make a motion, we accept the Martin proposal at 5% of the credit.
Do we have a second for this?
I second.
Thanks, Chris. All right, so do we need to discuss this at all? Are we ready to proceed with a vote? All in favor by indicating by putting your hand up. Okay, that's by consensus. Mark, do you have clarity?
Yes, thank you.
Great. All right, Mary. Go off and do great things.
Thank you.
Let's hope we can get you some money from the state.
Yep, I'm gonna work on it tomorrow.
Absolutely.
All right,
Honestly, I'd work on it till midnight tonight.
I had no idea that was even available, so yay.
Go get it. Go get it.
Yep.
We need more successful people out there saying, look what I did.
Yep, sounds good to me. Thank you.
All right. Terrific. Thank you, Mary. And, I think we might have some signs that say this work is supported by the City of Westminster Historic District Commission. They're little yard signs.
Yep,
Would
put
you
it in
mind?
there. Not at all.
Thank you.
I'm all about the yard signs.
All right. Good. I think Mark said he saw them in the basement somewhere, and we haven't used them in a while. So we'll dust them off for you. Thank you so much. Have yourself a great night, and you're welcome to hang on if you'd like.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Dean.
Yeah, thank you, Dean.
Oh, he may be gone already. All right, so let's press on with our agenda. And I guess I'll start with Historic District Commission comments. I'm feeling like we need to wrestle with this new workshop date, since we know that both Kevin and Aaron cannot make June 10th. And so we consult our calendars and see if we can't find another time that we can meet.
Chris, if I could ask a question of the group, as much as I don't want to give up a weekend, I'm wondering if there's any possibility of a Saturday morning. Like other people have already raised, it's just the only day of the week where I normally have any flex is Fridays, and it sounds like that's off the table for several of our commissioners. And it's very tricky for me to take off of a different day of the week from work. So I understand if that is ultimately what ends up happening, but if there's any chance of, you know, a Saturday or something
Sunday?
like that. Yeah, or Sunday.
So
Sunday is also good on
tricky
my
part
end.
is the tricky part is for Mark, because he's got to have a staff person somehow be with us. Mark, are you there?
Yes, I mean, I also need an agreement or an okay by the city administrator as well to use the building over the weekend.
Okay.
But that's something I can check in on and get back to everybody. Is there a specific, if it is possible,
Can I ask a follow-up there, Mark? Sorry, as you're thinking, does it have to be in a city building? Like, is there any reason for us not to, you know, meet at a restaurant downtown or, you know, something like that, as long as a city person is there?
well, once you get together as a group, it's a
Right.
HDC meeting that has to be open to the public. That we'd have to advertise for and have available for the public to be part of. So that just adds that element.
And I guess the most easily controlled buildings are ones in the public, and also, do we need to be taped for this? Or is there just such a thing as a workshop time?
I don't know. That's a good question. I would think it would have to be taped. It is a meeting of the HDC.
Okay.
Just for a workshop?
It is, it's called a special meeting that the HDC can put together and hold.
Okay.
But it still is a meeting of the HDC.
Let's go back and look at a Friday, but do it enough that everybody has notification, because I think a Friday is a lot better than giving up a Saturday, Sunday.
Well, I have to say I was unsuccessful with getting a hold of Aaron. I don't really know whether Fridays are any better for him or not. He didn't respond to my texts or emails. And I was a little surprised we didn't get any material from him for tonight. So I'm just not sure, you know, for some people, weekends are even more frenzied. I mean, we can try and come up with a couple more dates, and I really want him to be involved as vice chair. I would really love to have 2 dates put aside so that at least, you know, he's got a little wiggle room.
I like your idea of a doodle poll. I mean, that way you can pin everybody down, but we could just keep dragging this on, kick the can down the road for the next 6 months. We just need to do it. You know, I mean, if we're on the commission, you just need to make a commitment at some point and do it.
Yeah. So let's come up with a few dates on a doodle poll and include a Saturday. I think, you know, Saturdays aren't horrible for me.
All right.
I was looking up, by the way, and the Westminster Public Library does have public hours on Saturday. And so, Mark, you know, just again, in the spirit of alleviating the ask of the city, you know, it would be possible for us to reserve a public room there theoretically, or another space, if that's helpful at all.
But the meeting's not participatory with the public, is it? They're just there to view, or is that?
Yes, it's really up to the HDC as to whether they want to have public involvement or not.
Okay.
But you're saying by our rules, it needs to be advertised and available if the public wants to come sit in.
Yes. And Exploration Commons, I know they have some nice space, and so and since it is a public meeting, it is a free offer. We get the space for free essentially, but I still want to just double check on that to see if it's legally sufficient. I can't see why not, but I just want to double check. And I would think they have video available as well. It doesn't have to be live streamed. If we're just filming it, that we can then put up later. And even for you to look at it again as a group would be nice. And I'm sure they have that availability. It's just nice to check to make sure they do.
Well, especially in the new commons, they
Yeah.
seem to have everything there.
Yeah.
They did have a big screen for hooking up PowerPoints and things like that. And hooking up some of these documents, and everybody looking at them at one time might be very helpful. Of course, we're supposed to all look at them well in advance, but sometimes if wordsmithing, if we have to flip from document to document, it might be a good thing to have that ability. Okay, good. So,
Madam Chair, could I make one more recommendation for that doodle poll?
sure.
I would just recommend as well that maybe we throw a week evening in there in addition to our, I know that it's not as nice as a whole day, but it just might be really difficult to get us to spend a whole day. But, if we could get, 2 Mondays where we give, 2 hours or 3 hours each Monday evening, again, I'm just hypothetical, that might be more doable for schedules, or at least increase the odds of us finding a time. So just a suggestion.
I love that. All right, well, let's just pre-screen so that we have dates for the doodle poll. Mark, are you ready to get these dates on?
Yep.
All right. So how do people feel about the 25th? Is that possible for the doodle poll? That is a Saturday. Mark would have to make sure it's okay with the powers that be. And we'd have to be able to reserve a room. Any no-goes, at least between the four of us?
It will be difficult for me. I have family visiting from the West Coast, but I will, at the very least, I could come for a couple hours.
All right. How about the 24th?
I can't do the 24th.
All right. How about, I'm looking for a Friday. How about the 1st of July?
Well, that's okay. So I could do the 24th if we do it from 12 on. I could do the afternoon, but I can't do the morning. I could do 12 o'clock till whenever on the 24th.
How about the other folks?
More difficult for me than the 25th.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, I'm shooting for another Friday. How about July 1?
No, I can't do that one.
No.
It's work stuff. It's not vacation.
Sure. It's not having fun. I understand. How about if we did a evening combo like Josh suggested, 20th, which is when Juneteenth is celebrated, the 20th Monday night. And possibly link that with another couple hours on the 21st, both of them at 7 o'clock.
Or how about a half day on one of the days and then one evening, if that works for anybody also.
Well,
I cannot do a half day on either of those days, but I could do both evenings.
Could you do a doodle poll? Because at this point I'm getting confused about everything.
Well,
I really am. I mean, it's like
Chris,
this half day.
I'm trying to pull out at least go days. And the other thing is, if we start doing half days and evening hours, the doodle poll's not going to help us. We have to have clear choices on the doodle poll. You know what I mean?
But I think you can select times on the doodle poll.
You can.
Oh.
All right. I get it. It's confusing. Does anyone have any Fridays at all?
I have, like, Fridays are the easiest for me.
I know, but the 17th is a no, the 24th is a no, the 1st is a no. So we're down to July 8th.
Okay, for me, I'll make it work. If we do July 8th, I'll respond yes to the doodle poll and see what others can do.
Right, all
I
right.
think I can do the 8th.
How about you, Josh?
If that is what's picked, I currently I'm optimistic that I could rearrange my work schedule for that day.
All right. I want to give Mark at least 2 possibilities, and then Mark, could you put in the 20th and 21st, 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock? Like to do what Josh suggested, some evening work?
And Kevin, could you make the 25th work? So I felt like we were close on that.
I am away
Oh, okay.
in Gate Lake for 10
Gotcha.
days.
So the
Okay.
25th really isn't even a possibility.
Yep.
For me, no. But again, I'm only one person.
I had 3 Fridays in June I was available.
All right. And then maybe we should toss in the 27th and the 28th evening work.
And I'm sorry, Chris, are we in June or July for that?
I'm still focusing on June. I'm just desperate to get this done before our next meeting.
I could do a day on the 28th and 29th. I could do during the day.
Can you do evenings on the 27th and the 28th?
I can do one or the other. I don't want to do both. That's my vacation.
Oh,
So I don't want to do both days.
yeah, I don't think we can get done in just 2 hours. I really don't.
Though I will say, Madam Chair, if we do find 2 hours of uninterrupted time and it's what works best, it'd be better than nothing.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. All right.
27th is great for me, by the way.
Is
I
it
can-
during the day too, or just night?
I actually have a vacation day that day, so I could be flexible during the day.
Yeah, I could go earlier. I mean, that's a vacation day for me too, but I'm willing to go earlier if we can get this knocked out.
All right. Okay, good. All right, poor Mark, are you following all this?
Yes.
I'm
Kevin, is the 27th a possibility for you? He's checking. Because if it's a yes for Kevin, I'll just point out we have 4 of the 5 of us, and that's a pretty good number.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I don't come back till the 28th. Sorry.
Oh, so close. Thanks for trying.
Thanks for playing the game, Kevin. Thank you. And as we push into July 1st and 2nd, that's getting into the 4th of July holiday stuff, I'm sure. All right, well, Mark, just throw some time in there. See if we get anybody to bite on any days.
Okay.
Evenings or something, and we'll just take what we get the most check marks for.
Well, did you also say, you said 27th or 28th of June, and what about the 28th then? Josh, can you do the 28th, or is that not a good, I mean, nobody
Sorry,
wants to
I'm
take a vacation.
scrolling. 28th I could do evening, but I can't do during the day.
Could you do like 4:00?
Nope. No, the soonest I work in Baltimore, so the soonest I'm back in town is 6 o'clock that day.
Right.
Mhm. Well, at least put that down, Mark, as a possible couple hours from 7 to 9.
Okay,
And Kevin, you're gonna be so vacationed out, you should be raring to go on the 28th.
So Mark, are you sending a doodle poll then? Are you gonna,
so yes,
okay,
And,
Thanks.
and do we have July 2nd as a possibility? No?
wait, I'm looking. Hold on.
You're saying Saturday, July 2nd?
Yes. I'm trying to get back to the idea of a possible Saturday, a possible Friday, and a possible weekday
Yeah,
night.
no, I really
I
appreciate
can do
that.
it.
I can't.
Okay, no. How about July 1?
Yes, I can do July 1. Well, wait. I think I can, but I'll have to double check tomorrow. But I think I can.
And you, Mr. Josh?
Difficult to doubtful.
Difficult to doubtful. Well, then let's not break our backs over it. I guess we could push the questions to the 8th and the 9th.
I can tell you that as the summer rolls on, it's going to be more difficult for me for work. So
I know, that's why I keep
that's why I
trying
was
to.
available in June, and it's going to be, and it's work stuff. It's not vacation. So
Yeah, I understand. I get it. I'm not throwing shade on anybody. So 8th and 9th,
9th
9th is possible, Josh?
9th is good.
and possibly
Mark.
and the 8th, possibly. If everybody else can, I could try to make it work.
Mark, get that 9th on that doodle poll. That's the only one I've heard that's actually good.
How about the 8th? 8, okay, Kevin. Yeah.
8th is bad for me, sorry.
Oh, the 8th is the election. I can't imagine any city person wants to deal with us on the 8th.
Oh,
Isn't that true, Mark?
what election?
Isn't there a local election on the 8th?
Not,
Maybe it's county. Maybe it's
it must,
county.
it must be county, not that I'm aware of.
Okay. All right, well, sorry, maybe then the 8th is possible. What did, my ears shut down as soon as I saw election, so. Is the 8th possible for you, Christine?
hold on. Let me see what day this is. The 8th.
It's a Friday.
Yes, it is possible. I can, it's probably 90%. I would need to confirm it tomorrow.
Okay, and Josh?
Sorry, we're talking July 8th again.
Yes, sir.
Very difficult for me.
Oh, that's a no-go.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry. No, the 9th was great. The 8th is terrible.
So
All
Josh, what days are good for you in the next 2 months? Oh, well, I mean, it might be easier doing it that way.
Well, I think we have 4 or 5 dates now, don't we, in the doodle poll?
Mark, what do we got?
Okay, what I have to look at, let me put my calendar. What was that? Well, I was going to put out the dates. We talked about July 1st and July 2nd. Not sure where that ended up. Also July 8th, July 9th. I'm still going to put them out in the doodle poll just to have those 2 weeks. We also talked about June 20th and 21st, those Mondays, and June 27th, 28th, those Mondays. For time. So I'll just put, I know Josh and a couple of people said they couldn't make those certain dates, but we might as well put them in the doodle poll. I can extend the date beyond just the morning. And maybe it could be an evening Friday, or I don't know, but I'll put it in the doodle poll.
Okay. All right. Hmm.
Yeah, like afternoon even, 1 to
Yeah.
5 or 12 to 4, 5, whatever.
Yeah, Friday late afternoon is definitely more doable.
Okay. All right, well, you guys have to know, no shade, I used to work. I remember how it used to be. And when I worked in DC, there was absolutely no dislodging me unless there was a earthquake or a power outage or something to make me go home early. So you guys have been more than flexible with us, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. So, all right. So, other than that, Kevin, we still need to get your education packet information in so we can make that part of our workshop. And today really was the day to get that stuff in. So I'm looking for a package from you, Kevin.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm slow.
Well, get it to us soon because we can only do this in 2 hours if we all know what we're doing. I mean, we can't have new information presented then. We need our package in. I've already written Aaron that I wanted his package for tonight so that we could talk about it even if he couldn't be here. And I haven't seen anything. So I'll try and tap his shoulder again and see, it sounded to me like today just flipped out on him. So I'm hoping he'll be able to send us what he's collected on tax incentives. And Kevin, I'm looking for you for education, concrete plans and directions that we can take to educate our public.
Okay,
All right, thank you so much. Kevin, do you have anything for the good of the group?
no, but thank you all for your time.
Josh, do you have anything for our group?
Nothing further at this time. Thank you.
Chris, I know you did talk with someone in Frederick. Do you have anything more for our group?
Well, I've been following up. So I was put in touch with somebody who put me in touch with somebody else, and we've been emailing back and forth. I'm going to reach out to her again. So hopefully we can connect. I want to talk to her this week. I'm trying. I'm trying. She was, she's more than happy and willing to chat. We're just trying to, so I'm hoping that this week it happens, this coming.
Well, I've been going through my personal archives. I can tell you that. And Mark has already gotten 2 items from my personal archives that he's going to copy and email to you guys. I found a few more things, Mark, that you haven't got yet. But these are the rules of procedure that we had back in 2001. And you can see they're very different than the rules of procedure that we have today. This is also a really early packet of standards and design that we had real early on, way back when Tracy Smith was our city person. And it's really interesting. Inside is getting neighborly about preservation regulations and RX for historic district anxiety. That is a great article for us to read. So there's some old brochures that we used to put out for tax incentives, and again, I'm a big believer in not reinventing the wheel. So there might be some things of interest here to share. This is our old form. You can see how easy it used to be. Like, completely, just tell us what you got. And then last, I have a part of a member's handbook. And this is part 2. Mark, I already gave you part 1 for distribution. Part 2 is national, state, and local support. And it was also done back in the 2003. And it's got tons and tons of community support through the state, through the feds, through other means than just us. And that's why it was a part 2. So it's a great resource. So I continue to rummage around and smile when I look at some of the old fights we had and some of the things that lawyers wrote us and some of the smoothing out we had to do some time ago. So All right, do we have any other comments before we move to Mark and ask him for any comments he might have? None? Okay, Mark, do you have any comments from staff?
No, nothing. It's been very busy. I've been out of the office. I apologize. I feel bad for Andrea. We seem to be swapping, I'm there and she's not. And then when she's there, I can't be. It's been very difficult, but we have put advertisements out for the positions. We're down to still. We actually separated out the Main Street manager and the comprehensive planner position, and we're looking at defining Main Street more as an economic development individual, and the other individual being purely a comprehensive planner. So trying to separate the two versus combining, we're finding it difficult to find that perfect person that can do Main Street and planning. People have planning experience, but not Main Street. People have Main Street experience, but not planning experience. So we're just finding that difficult. Outside of that, just, farmer's market on Saturdays, just want to, in case anybody out in the world is listening, stop by. And outside of that, that's all I have. Thank you.
Mark, can I follow up on that? And Chris, just so you know, I think something happened to your microphone. It sounds like you're miles away at the moment. Just wanted you to know. Mark, two thoughts. First, I think I'm looking at the Main Street manager position description now. If you wouldn't mind sharing that URL, I would like to circulate it with some people. And I would encourage the rest of the commission to do the same. I mean, this is such an important position for our community, and I haven't heard anyone talking about it. And I think it's a big deal that you're bringing back a Main Street manager position. So would love to do our part to just boost the signal on that. Secondly, I just wanted to know, I did, last meeting we all asked for some updates on the demolition site. I have driven by and clearly they've cleared out a lot of the stuff. And so I don't know if that was your nudge that helps move that along, but if so, thank you. And I didn't know if there was anything else from that communication that you wanted to share with the group, just anything you've heard from the site owner.
No, it was when we reached out to him a few weeks ago, he did mention that this past weekend would be the weekend he could get somebody out to clear out. I've touched base with Carroll County permitting as well. So we're also looking at potentially putting up a fence around the property to keep people off of it. And eventually construction is going to happen, and we're going to want that fence up anyway. Mr. Knox did reach out to me today. I just haven't had a chance to call him back. So it's good to hear that he did follow through at least this weekend to start cleaning up the site.
Yeah, he's made a big difference there. I mean, it still doesn't look great, but at least it's all smoothed out and it looks like something's happening. And also, Josh, if you're finished with your thoughts, okay. I will say people do watch this. As a matter of fact, when you sit market, if anyone's out there, we have market. Believe it or not, my DoorDash person said to me, "Are you Chris McMasters?" And I'm thinking, that's what's on the receipt. Of course I am. She said, "I've been watching you."
It wasn't for the thought there's a lack of people watching. I just wanted to make, I was making comment to people outside of this group. That was the point I was trying to make. You guys are fully aware of it. I just want to make sure that anybody watching, don't forget about the farmers market. Yep. Saturday mornings.
Yep. I'm amazed at how many people are watching tonight, and I love to hear them catch me in the street and say something. So thank you.
We're looking for Main Street manager if you're out there watching.
All right. Well, if there's nothing else, I think we should adjourn, and we did pretty well, I guess. Thank you, everyone, for all your hard work and efforts, and hope to see you soon on a doodle poll.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.